In today's episode, we end up in accident emergency in what could have been so much worse. Our friends join us to explore the Dordogne River. We get stuck into a massive sandblasting project to sandblast the entire interior of the chateau. And we make a little trip to Périgueux to check out the National Archives and try and find out a little bit more history about the chateau. It was a little strange getting our bearings over those first few weeks, and one of the things which I think helped to ground us was the trips which we had made at times of old when we'd been there previously. So for example, exploring the Marquis de Nisijac, which we love. However, the pressure was on to get things moving. Time was quickly ticking down towards the birth of baby Noah, and we still hadn't finished removing the wine vat. And so we set to work. Nicole helping me to remove the rubble from the concrete vat walls. She was interspersing that with lifting up the floor on directly above where I was working. It was a huge shock, as out of the corner of my eye, I saw her fall to the ground below. At this point, so many things were going through my head. I know Nicole was also, turns out, also having not the similar thoughts, but I mean, I thought Nicole might have broken her back. Thankfully, she moved relatively quickly, clenching her back, which made me really concerned for what might have happened. But when we realised she was able to move, the worry then turned to the pregnancy and whether or not the fall, some 10 foot, had any ill effect on our little one. We rushed to the hospital to get Nicole and the little one checked over. Thankfully, Nicole was given the all clear. She had really bruised ribs and her back was really badly scratched up. But we'd have to wait a whole another day to find out if, via an ultrasound, our little one would also be okay. And that drive back really got us reflecting on how different it could have been. And Nicole landed literally inches from a concrete box. Her elbow actually went through the one hole there was in that concrete box. But had she literally landed just a little bit more to the left, I dread to think what might have happened. Thankfully, she landed on softer ground. I think it just re-emphasised the need for us to make sure that we take all the old floorboards up and replace them with something that hasn't been allowed to decay and be kind of consumed by wood lice for the past few centuries. With Nicole recovering, I continued to work on the vats. As when Nicole was feeling ready again, she started to help as well. bearing in mind how much we'd already cleared, we still managed to fill an entire skip load with the rubble from those last couple of walls. It was probably like relief to know that our friends were joining us for a few days from England, and I think Nicole appreciated the big hugs that we got when they arrived. We were straight on to exploring the local gelateria, which does pancakes and savoury pancakes, and then treated them to a wine tasting as well, before showcasing the best of the Dordogne by going on the canoe trip via the 5 castles, Senac and Benac and the others.
This is pretty good in terms of the bottom. So this could...
That wasn't bad considering. It was a chunk of a brick. Are you gonna go there?
Yeah. Bye.
Yep. That was pretty good. That was pretty sweet. No, they are going at speed. And yes, of course, there were waffles. With the wine vat demolished, it was time for us to clean up the walls. And so we hired in a sandblaster, and we had a recommendation, Kurt, who is our pretty much all-round, hands down DIY guru. He's a carpenter by trade, but he's been, doing so many jobs for us over the last 18 months. And he got to work with the sandblasting, which needed to be done before we could point the walls. And you can really see the difference that sandblasting makes, exposing the beautiful nature of those stone walls. With that room done, and Kurt still had a week with us, we wanted to make the most of having the sandblaster, and so we had the fun task of carrying all 110 kilos of it up the narrow stairs. And then Kurt got to work on the areas we're actually currently working on, so look forward to sharing those updates with you in due course. But sandblasting away centuries worth of grime, and obviously where the plaster had once been, the decay from that as well. the finished result was incredible. And yes, the wall still needed pointing, but we were so pleased with how everything turned out. While Kurt was doing that, I had the task of carrying the special sand up to him, which was no mean feat. Each bag was 25 kilos, so pretty good workout. And we needed this special sand that needed to be extra dry silica, otherwise the machine would just clog up and stop working. And Nicole was on taking it a little bit easy after her accident, and so in charge of sandwiches and lunch, which was much appreciated. With those areas done and Kurt on his way, and him having shown me a bit of the ropes, I wanted to get to grips with a sandblaster myself, and so took it upon myself to tackle what will be our future chaufferie and buanderie, and also the cave, where we will have our wine cellar in due course. And so I had a really tough but rewarding time of sandblasting all of those walls. Then the very last thing, it was Nicole's birthday, and in fairness to Nicole, she wasn't just idly twiddling her thumbs. I mean, A, she was over 3 months pregnant, but B, she did a huge tidy up job in the Grand Salon, not for the first and not for the last time, where she removed a whole load of wood that had accumulated from much of the work we've been doing. And took it all down into the garden, into the skip. And yeah, then the final thing, to coincide with Nicole's birthday, actually, we went to Périgueux, which was where they held the archives for the region, because we were really keen to try and find out more about the chateau. And so I spent a good couple of hours kind of looking through the relevant documentation for the village of Saint-Julien and surrounding areas. But the writing was extraordinarily hard to read. I'd say almost ineligible. And despite my best efforts, I really struggled to find anything of note. So whilst we weren't that lucky this time, the plan is to go back at a future date and do some more digging, because we are convinced that there will be something there telling us a little bit more about the history of the chateau.